See, what we have been doing is going through the ritual section by section while exploring some kind of implication to our contemporary life, so to speak. But I think always good to come back to the basic, what's all this about. Today we're going into this red feast. If we finish the white feast, then we're really going into this horrific banquet part of it. I call it juice of chew, very juicy part, literally juicy part. And so then we have to come back to this question, basic question, what's the all this about, right? Of course, obviously, chew, cutting. So it's about cutting through ego fixation, cutting through self-grasping, grasping onto something does not truly exist as something really exists. So that's kind of misconception. That's what we are cutting through. And also at this attachment to this idea that body is who we are. We have such a strong habit to perceive body as who I am. This is I am, nothing but I am, kind of thing. So we need to cut through. And also through this practice, we are trying to complete off the practice of generosity, perfection of generosity. Yeah. So through this practice, we gradually, slowly coming to understand what we truly are is deathless, beyond birth and death, right? That's we want to come to understand. So beyond good and evil, and all this duality we create, which causes suffering. And so in general, that's how we present it in terms of a point. What's the point? What's this all about? And then the gods and demons. Now we come to this. What's the gods and demons? Do they do? Right. So as you know, gods and demons are the strong or the energies within us, part of us, and which go to the different direction or opposite direction from that true nature which we just talked about, or the not aligned with true nature, completely distorted way. And so Machi Clapton talks lots about gods and demons, what they are, nature, and also the manifestation of the gods and demons in her 4th chapter. But of course, the most important thing is what that means to you, right? Well, part of you, what's gods and demons at this moment, for example. We can do a little bit about that today, beginning of the practice, because in Cho practice, what we do, as you guys know, initially at the beginning of the ritual, we call forth those demons, or the invite or face the demons, so to speak, acknowledge the demons, what they are. So it's nice, very good practice for us to just get in touch with so-called gods and demons arising within you at this moment, right here, maybe appearing in your life, difficulty or whatever life present, without taking them personally, so to speak. So I think that's important. I want to emphasize everybody has gods and demons. Everybody has this habitual patterns and belief system and whatever strong tendencies within us, that's creating the gods and demons. And so that's human conditions. and the nature of unenlightened existence, as Buddha said. And so we take full responsibility for what the life presents, or our experience in our life. However, we don't take them personally. And so I think that's number one, kind of, I feel important. And then second thing is that those demons, they are doing their best, so to speak. They think they can get happiness through distorted way, distorted means. So just like a little child, they don't understand, but they are trying to get happiness. Or even those gangs, and a very distorted way. So we generate compassion, right? I feel more and more this Machi Clapton's teaching is like a good training for mother parenting, or the teachers all need to know what is education position of the educating kids, or parenting, or whatever involved in that sort of dynamic relation. This teaching present quite a good insight and practice. And then, of course, looking into this true nature, if you can see through the true nature, which is emptiness and compassion, or emptiness and appearance, and emptiness and mind, consciousness, and emptiness and form, or different way of saying. But so those, I feel, three things are important. First, to face the demon, take responsibility for it without taking personally. Then see through the true nature, which is emptiness and appearance, or the compassion. And then third one is the compassion. We all need to have compassion. And then feed them, satisfy them, and liberate them fully. Then not only liberate them, they become ally. So they become friend. They become strength. They become part of us, which has a great juice in it, and strong. So in a sense that if you have more demons, and more aware of demons, more work with demons, you get stronger as a practitioner. And you can bring those demons, or the little child with you along our spiritual path. It's very juicy. So you can practice this first alone, then in dark, slowly make it a little more, make it as spooky as possible. You can start feeling it. Yes, seeing, visualizing, and chanting this specific melodies, and in dark, then see if any fear comes up. Then eventually, if you go into this kind of cemetery or channel ground, it's not necessary, but to start with this slowly, in a gradual way. We don't want to go jump into the channel ground. And yeah, it's very scary though. Then again, that's a practice, right? Then look into who scares, for example. There are many ways to work with it, but who scares? Is there any person here who is afraid of? Or what's fear? It's a strong energy. Then just rest in that fear directly. It's energy. Then let it dissipate. Instead of pushing out back, pushing away, or cutting off, or suppressing, all these our usual reactivities. That's That's actually causing the creating the demon, right? So demons are due to or out of our habitual patterns and all this strong belief system. Then even good part of ourselves become mixed with the shadow, so to speak. Right. So now we are sitting and practicing some kind of holy spiritual practice. Right? We come onto the cushion. Then, but when we deeply look into our intention, the motivation, see if we are avoiding something, maybe not willing to face the messiness of unawakened life. Then come to the spirituality, spiritual practice, or all those things. So as a practitioner, we really need to honestly need to look into our own mind. Because those are the blocks you from spiritual progress. For example, those so-called spiritual bypass. Am I bypassing? So those are important. Baru che tam che shi wa che